Good morning, good morning, good morning, my trippy hippies. It is Tammy coming to you live from my office. Coming in today a little bit later than I normally like to for Monday morning wake and bakes, but holy shit, it's been a day. It's been a day already, and that's okay. That's what it's going to be. We're going to take some deep breaths. We're going to get clear today because apparently that is, if I do not do that, bad things will happen. Bad things will happen. So I'm going to give you a few moments. I'm going to go ahead and hit these admins up and let them know that I am late to the gate, but I am here now, so they can find me this morning. Live now on Hometown Hippie page. Just letting everybody know that I am live right this moment on the Hometown Hippie page. I know that it's later in the morning than I normally go live. 9 o'clock is when I announced that it would happen, and it is 10:30. But sometimes you just have to lean into all in divine time. I actually was going to say I'm running late this morning, but I'm like, I'm not running late. I'm running exactly on time. And I am just coming in later than what I anticipated when I come in. And that's, if you notice, that's what I put in my post. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know the deal. As you jump on here, drop a grateful fed in the comments. Say hello. Tell us where you're watching from today. We are super glad that you are here. I am practicing not letting one thing ruin my day today. So let me tell y'all what I did this morning. So number one, I have sat down and my intentionality is to get into a good meditative morning practice. And I also sat down that I wanted to be up and at 'em, like up and moving by 8 a.m., right? By 8 a.m., I want to be up and moving every day. Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And that I kind of made some goals for myself, like the water, the better foods. I've got a strategy for getting clear, right? I have been really not practicing as much as I preach about like good stuff in, good stuff out. I've kind of been junking up the system a little bit. We ate out. I don't know. I don't know that we jumped up, but we did like go out to dinner on Saturday night. Um, I got good food. Don't get me wrong. I got like real food, but yesterday, I just know that I need to do better about not letting French fries be a vegetable. And I'm a cook and a chef, and I know all these things. And normally we eat loads and loads and loads of vegetables. It just seems like sometimes we have a week where just we don't make the best choices, right? We don't make the best choices. Anybody else can relate to that? So I was like, Monday, yesterday, it was a rainy day. I sat down in my chair. I read a bunch of books. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Sheila. Good morning, Dennis Casey. Not sure who this is. It says good morning, Facebook user. And then right below that is another person that says good morning, Facebook user. I feel if I ate junk with the grands and I fell it out. Yes. And so you start feeling, right? You start feeling that like, ugh, that sludge in your body. You start feeling that sludge in your body. And so over the weekend, yes, last night even, one of our friends came by yesterday while I was doing Sunday sermon, apparently, or I was in the bathroom or something. And he makes the best barbecue ever. And he brought us some barbecue, some sauce pie. So we were going to do barbecues for dinner, some pulled pork barbecue for dinner. So we got some French fries in there, a can of baked beans. It's easy peasy. But it's not enough for all of us. So he then orders. He's like, I need coleslaw as well. So he ordered some Bojangles from takeout. He said, we need a couple pieces of chicken because it's not enough. It's not enough barbecue for us to eat for dinner, which it was plenty. We have leftover. He doesn't see it. But I let him do it, and I appreciate him for doing it, right? And he did all of dinner last night. He put it together. He ordered the way fast. Like he did it on his phone. Like he did it all. And I appreciate the shit out of him for that, right? And we had dinner. We had a piece of chicken, some barbecue, some baked beans, some French fries, and he had some coleslaw. And I'm like, ugh, I am ready. I am ready to get this like clarity going where we're going to put some better food in. I was drinking tons of water last night. I've been drinking water all day yesterday. And this morning, my goal was to be up and at 'em, be up and out of the bed by 8 o'clock, be showered and ready to go by 9, have a morning meditative practice. We pat for easy in all things, right? So what was my plan, right? I was like, I am gonna get up. I'm gonna have like this. I'm gonna fix my coffee. I'm gonna go get a shower. I'm gonna sit and quiet. I'm gonna put on some my Surrender and Flow playlist. I'm just gonna sit in some quiet. I want 15 minutes. I want to go outside. I want to get my feet in the dirt. You know, all the things talked about yesterday, right? And here I am at 10:43 a.m. Things I have done this morning. Woke up in a panic because holy shit, it's 9:36. I woke up at 7:20, like woohoo, 7:20. I gotta pee because my bladder won't let me stay in bed past that, right? We pay for easy in all things, right? So I wake up in a panic. Like first of all, I'm like, holy shit, I'm 36 minutes late for wake and bake. So in that moment, I was able to take a deep breath and say, hang on. All in divine time. I'm waking up exactly when I'm supposed to wake up, right? I held space despite of. I said, let me stop myself, right? Let me not spiral out of control because I am at 9:36, right? I'm at 9:36. Let me take a deep breath. All is well. All is in divine time. I didn't, wake and bake was not supposed to be at 9 o'clock this morning. My moment of clarity was supposed to be about showing all of you that when I say, right, when I come on here and I'm telling y'all, you feel like I'm doing this, right? I'm poking at your head, I'm a preacher, and I'm just, I'm like telling you what to do, whatever you feel that preaching is. The reason that these things happen a lot of times is to show you that I am not saying that I wake up like fucking Snow White, y'all. I don't wake up like Cinderella, like, woo, the day is beautiful, sunshine, like, what is it, like, bluebirds on my shoulder. I don't wake up like that either. Like, the day does not just, like, happen. We missed the school bus this morning, bonus day with the grands, mom, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Meredith. Good morning, Sheila. Someone said Lisa is on here. I'm not sure if it's Lisa Phillips, Lisa Type Fry. I'm not sure. Do you whistle while you work? I do not whistle while I work, but I certainly dance around and sing while I work. But I don't, like I'm saying, like it's not about, like when I tell you all these things, and I know the grumbling and the eye rolling because as an empath, I can feel it even through the computer. I can feel when I'm like, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. Like, just this. Nurse calling just woke me up. I'm sleepy. I'm sorry that you're sleepy. Lisa Phillips. Okay, hey Lisa Phillips. But this morning I said, oh, okay, source, okay, God, okay. I see you. I see you, right? I see you. What you're trying to show me is, right, that I'm telling people to hold space despite of the difficulties. Now I have to live by example. I don't believe that you should ever just hear my words and do what my words say. I try very hard to live a life of authenticity and lead by example. It is not always easy to stay clear. It is not always easy to hear the message. It is not always easy to do the shadow work. None of these things are easy things, right? And it's wake and bake. And I'm awake and I have not baked. I'm on a little tolerance break. That was another thing that I wanted to try this morning. And a couple of things happened. I'm going to tell you all about it, right? So we talked about me getting up at 9:36, which is way later. I mean, I got up at 7:20, went to pee. I said, I'm going to lay back down here for a minute, do my little gratitudes. And this is what happens some mornings. You start doing your gratitudes. You start doing your little like silent meditation back in your bed without your phone. You've not like gotten your dopamine, your serotonin up yet. And the next thing you know, it is 9:36. I was like, I am so grateful that I have a warm bed to lay in on this cloudy morning. And that's the last thing I remember giving thanks for. And I woke up at 9:36 in a full ass panic. So I was like, let me go in here at 9:36. The first thing I want to do is I want to make a pot of coffee. I'm gonna go do that. I gotta eat at 7:20, so I have like enough time to like make a pot of coffee and be okay. Right? I have to run to the bathroom. So I get to the coffee pot and I go to open it up and I'm like looking at it and I pulled the pot off and I scooted it towards me. And when I did not know that my amazing, wonderful, just my husband, my partner, my BFF, right? Before he left this morning, he prepped the coffee pot where all I had to do was hit a button when I woke up. I didn't pay attention to it because I woke up in a panic. And I went to go grab the coffee pot. When I went to slide it towards me, because it was heavy, I took the pot off. It had water in the back. It flipped over. So at 9:38 this morning, the plan to like fix my pot of coffee, because in that moment it was the exact thing I needed to like, let me ground myself, let me make my coffee, let me get the day going. The first thing I do, the very first thing I do as I wake up in a panic, right? Like not feeling like all was in divine time, is I completely spill an entire coffee pot prepped. So it flips over backwards, which dumps out not brewed coffee everywhere, but cold water and coffee grounds everywhere. So on top of and it's running into the floor, it's running into drawers, it is running underneath my air fryer, it is running underneath everything. So at 9:38 this morning, I had the biggest effing mess in my kitchen coffee grounds, looks like sludge, water everywhere, having to open up the cabinets and the doors and wipe them down because there's coffee grinds and wet coffee grounds just stick to everything. And as soon as it dries, it's going to all fall on the floor. It was a clusterfuck, y'all. It was a clusterfuck. And that's the only word that I have to use for it, right? And then while all of this is happening, at this point, I'm like, I don't touch my phone now. I've already gotten up, walked past the phone in here, gone in there, and spilled all of the shit, right? And I was like, holy shit. I was like, woo. I was like, all right. I'm like, is this my penance, right? Is this my penance for like not doing and what I said I was going to do and being as good to my word? And I'm like, stop. We are all exactly where we're supposed to be at every moment. I'm not supposed to go live until 10, later than 10. I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling rushed. Everything is fine. And then I'm like, let me take a deep breath. Let me get my shit together. Let me clean this mess up. So I stopped what I was doing. I unplugged all the things that could cause me to die because of water everywhere. And I don't know if that would be the case. And I was like, all in divine time. Everything is fine. Why am I rushing all the things? Took me about 15 minutes. I cleaned up all of the mess just because I had to get towels and paper towels and move things and rinse things off. I got my coffee rebrewed, right? And then I had a choice to make. I felt like Robert Frost, right? At the poem, right? I came across two roads in the forest. One looked like it was taken forever, and one was an uncharted path. Now, the one in this morning's scenario that was taken forever was to say, I'm having a shit day, right? By all intents and purposes, I have woken up an hour and a half late, at least 36 minutes late for something I had said I was going to do, and that I was going to do, right? Then I get up an hour and a half late. I'm late for an appointment. I get up and I 100% make a giant mess in my kitchen that I have to clean up. And I'm flustered. And at that moment, the 2 days I can say I'm having a shit day, or I'm going to say that, hey, it could only get better from here, right? I'm like, everything terrible today has happened right in the beginning. Everything happens for a reason. This don't cry over spilt milk, right? There's no reason to cry over spilt coffee grounds. And I was like, I can either let this be the thing that dictates my day, or I can do what source and guides and angels and helpers have been telling me in this message, live by example, right? And I can and I can get clear. And it's interesting because I have been working on the clarity thing for a little bit, I knew that I needed to get back into that this week, right? I've been doing that probably for an extra week on my own. I've been trying to find moments and sitting, and this weekend I took the time I needed to do those things. I sat and I journaled and I meditated, and then I was able, right, to stay calm. I was taking my breaths. I did not react. If I was triggered, right, I reminded myself to stop, drop, and roll. And I was like, this is hilarious. I'm like, Red makes my coffee. I fuck it up. I'm late. It's just a comedy of errors. I can choose in this moment, right? If you're not changing it, you're choosing it. If I did not decide in that moment that this is not going to dictate my day, shit happens. This is not how my day is going to be. I am pattern interrupting right now. I'm obviously flustered because I woke up late and my hands are butterfingers. Let me stop what I'm doing so I don't fuck anything else up today. Let me get my energy right, right? And let me go forth and do my day. But because I had been clear, because I had been staying clear, the calm piece was way easier to do. In that moment, and I'm not going to lie, and you have to move energy. I tell you all the time, life is not rainbows and sunshines. And I don't live like Snow White. I'm not waking up in the morning with like little like birds flying around putting ribbons in my hair and mice flipping around to find my outfits for me. It's not how that happens, right? But um, because I was able to get clear and I understood how energy works. Number one, I screamed and I said bad words, and I said, you know what? Let me just get this energy out. Let me live here for a moment. Let me in this moment deal with this anger. No one was around me. I told Chesapeake, I was like, because dogs pick up, and she's my best friend here in the house. She just is. I said, Chess, let me take. Mama, I got. She was like all up under me. Then she brought me toys because she knew I was upset, and I got in her face, and I was like, Chess, Mama loves you, and Mama is not mad at you, and none of this mess is your fault, right? None of this mess is your fault. Mama is going to be upset for a second. I'm going to send you outside to go potty, and I'm going to scream, I'm okay. And I rubbed her head, and I told her those things, right? And she went to the door, and she wouldn't leave. She stood there and looked at me. She's not gone like it ran around yet. But I just said, fuck, 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 and I moved that energy through, right? I got through the stinking thinking right in that moment. I didn't blame myself. I was like, this sucks. This situation as a whole is some bullshit, right? This is some bullshit. I was like, I did not want to start my day out this way, but here we are, right? Here we are. And but did you die? Right? I did not. It is fine. I am okay. We are all okay. But the thing is that we need to understand that shit happens in this world, right? We sometimes get dealt a hand and we have either karmic lessons or we have soul contracts or whatever you want to call with those things. And it's all about how you approach them. You can do anything with a grateful heart. Now, does that mean that we're enjoying it or that it's fun or that it's the thing you want to start your day off doing? It does not. It does not. But when you can hold it in that place of like, it's what it is. It is what it is. I'm gonna be all right. This is just one thing that you have to do. Now, don't get me wrong. It is a fortitude. It takes some fortitude. This morning, like I was like, you know what? A less evolved, a less awakened, a less clear Tammy, a less clear Tammy. Let go and let God, right? A less clear Tammy would have said, you know what? This is an awful, no good, terrible day. This is an awful, no good, terrible day. And then I would start telling the story of the day, right? I would start telling the story of the day. And that is what we do with our lives, right? That is what we do. And the reason that we don't want to get clear is because we have gotten so programmed in to tell this story of our life, to tell our victim story, to tell the reasons why we're like we're like. I'm like this because don't judge me. I say all the time, like it was the 90s, don't judge me. Right? It was the 90s, don't judge me. And I could have started that off. I could have sent a message to Heather. I'm going to use Heather because I'll message her in the mornings when shit goes sideways sometimes. Um, uh, Here's what Heather says. So she's like, get out and move on. Get it out and move on. Yes, this happened to me yesterday with the pan cupboard. All slid to the floor, screamed at it, and let it sit there until I finished cooking, regrouped, and put it all away. Exactly. I would sit in the floor laughing and cussing. Yes. And that's the funny thing. My husband does not know how to pattern interrupt. When something goes haywire, it snowballs for him. Now, here's the thing that I'm gonna say. I'm gonna use an analogy with this, okay? And this is what how I've been taught, and I share with y'all what I have been taught. This is all I'm doing. It's not that I just been through this shit more often than some people. I started seeing it. Do you know that there is this road out in San Diego or San Francisco? Whichever one has the hills and it's real curvy. It's one of these roads. It's famous. Anybody know where it's at? I think it's San Francisco, or I think it's San Francisco. That it's like the curviest road, and it's like real curvy, and like people like pay to they love to drive down it at 1 mile an hour. San Fran, right? And what I'm going to tell you is think about this momentum of a day. So if you're a car at the top of that hill and your brakes are not set, and you get out of your car to look at the view and to look down the hill, and your car starts rolling, right? At the very top of that hill, when it starts rolling down the hill, if you get out in front of the car and put your hands up, you can stop that momentum because it hasn't picked up speed yet, right? It hasn't picked up the momentum of knocking you off your feet and running you over. But if you run to the bottom of the hill because the car is starting to come down the hill, if you run to the bottom of the hill and wait for it to get there and you put your hands out, all the momentum of that hill, all of the gravity is pulling that force at you, and you're unable to stop that momentum because you didn't get out in front of it quick enough. So when your day starts going sideways, it's important to get out in front of it when it happens. Don't let one bad thing be the precipice of what your day is going to look like, or what your life is going to look like. And a lot of us are like, well, Tammy, I'm 50 years old and I have let the momentum of my life run me the fuck over. I am tired and I'm, like Sheila just said, I feel like splat. I have been run over. I have been by a steamroller, right? I have been run over by a steamroller. And this is my life. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you, right? If you are still telling your story and it is still the mess that you're talking about, then that is your victim story. If you are still telling your story, as this is why I'm like I am, this is why things can't change, you are still in the midst of telling that story without clarity. You are still in the midst of telling that story while the car is rolling down the hill. That is your victim story. But if you are telling that story from the top, it's like, hey, I got run over by the car, but guess what? We backed that bitch up. We went up the hill. We said we can always start over again. And this was just chapter 1. In chapter 2, I came out and I put the emergency brake on. I got in the driver's seat and I drove that car down the hill, right? That is your victor story. Like, how did you overcome that? That is the message out of your mess. But if you're still telling me about your mess and you have not developed what your message is yet, then you're one of those people who needs to spend some time getting clear, okay? And that is what we're doing this week. And I posted today, and I would love to know if you're working on getting clear today and not allowing little inconveniences of the day, right? Little inconveniences of life, little things that are in the grand scheme of things going to be a blip in your radar. Think about that. Think about things that have ruined your days. And now you could even tell what they are. Now, there are days when big, bad shit happens, right? There are days when big, bad shit happens that you remember forever and always. Those tower moments, deaths of a loved one, breakups, even breakups. Like, I couldn't tell you any other breakup day, like days that I thought were big days when I lost a partner that I thought was maybe, I couldn't tell you a day of the week, the month we broke up, nothing anymore, right? It doesn't even matter at this point. But there are things. Think about them. Think about things that have made you have bad days, and can you even remember what they were? I'm not going to remember spilled coffee grounds in a year, unless it pops up on a memory on Facebook. That's the only reason why I would know it. right? So if you are having a spiral day like I am, like my day could spiral one of two ways. It could spiral up or it could continue to spiral down. I stopped myself in that moment. I screamed out that energy. I was like, you know what? Ah! Ah! Right? This is some bullshit. And then I felt better. I was like, woo, okay. That's all I needed to do. I needed to acknowledge it for what it was, right? Acknowledge it for what it was. Breathe it out, allow that energy to have its moment, right? And I was like, I do not claim this terrible, bad, awful, no good day. I claim that I am exactly in the time, in the space, in the area that I am supposed to be in this moment. I'm not holding anything tightly today, right? Claim you're crazy. Yes, claim it. Sheila, I claim that I'm crazy all the time, and it's okay. So if you struggle with being able to pattern interrupt or to get out in front of the momentum of a very shitty, terrible, bad day, then I am going to tell you, you need to do the work. And I love, and I'm going to use this because I know that Heather means this as a tool, and I'm going to use this because she knows we talk about this. She says, grab some crystals, load your bra, and move on. Now, she knows that I can do that, right? She knows that I know what crystals to probably grab, show them in my boobs, and keep my day moving, right? But for those of you who have not started actually doing the work, there are a lot of people in this group, right? A lot of you in this group. And whenever I started this group, God said to me, and I have it written down. I have it written down more than one time. I was like, I said, dear God, and this is what I prayed for. I'm going to be honest. When I say I manifested every single one of you, I manifested every single one of you. I said, God, I know that I have a message to share with people. And you have allowed me to have a platform of women in my party with Tammy. You have. I have I have way more people. I have probably close to double the people, close to double the women in my party with Tammy, which is my pure romance group that I've been building for 5 years, a community I've been building for 5 years. And I said, this is for women having empowerment, understanding that they have the right to be entrepreneurs. I do business coaching over there for women. I also help women with relationships and intimacy and standing in their own power and understanding that they deserve pleasure. And so the first part of this, I was like, the first thing I did was took care of me, and that was organic food. The second thing I did was I helped all the women around me by teaching them to step into their orgasm, right? And then now I'm working, it's mind, body, and now I'm working on your soul, right? And what I'm going to tell you is I prayed and I said, help me find a group of like-minded individuals who I can help to, who can help me and that I can help them. People who have who are in my soul family. Help me connect to my soul family. Help me find the people who, number one, are going to help my growth, but are going to help each other to grow. They say it takes a village, God, and I want to have a village. And because I don't have children, I didn't have a lot of mom friends because I wasn't a mom. I didn't have little kids. I didn't understand that. And I felt like I didn't make any grown-up friends because I didn't. And I was like, it's really difficult to make friends in general. And God kept telling me, if you build it, they will come. We would go to parties, we would go to events, right? And we would do that. And I would say, I just don't align with those people. I feel like they're not really getting at the meat of their life. They're just kind of top level superficial. I don't feel like I am meeting the people who align with my energy. I don't feel like God is bringing these people to me. And God says, you're not meant to fit in somebody else's group. You're meant to create your own. If you build it, they will come. You are not a follower. You are a leader. You are a preacher and a teacher, Tammy. And you have to stand in that power. I was like, oh, no, I'm not. I said, no, I'm not. I just want just lead me to the right group, God. Just show me. I asked my angel, I said, there's a group out there that's meant for me. Right? God said, no, Tammy. We're not going to find a group that checks all your boxes because it's not who you are. You're not meant to fit in somebody else's box. And last November, the Hometown Hippie Elevated Edibles uh, Facebook page was born. And all of a sudden, people started showing up that I never met before. There's so many of you, I've never met you in person before. But here you are, and you're in this group, right? And I was like, let me help. How do I help? And the message that I've been getting with this clarity thing, with me trying to be clear, calm, collected, to be connected, is this. The way that I deliver a message, somebody needs to hear it this way. It's not, they told me, it's stop trying to sugarcoat it, just be yourself. We never ask you to change your delivery method. Don't be afraid of your delivery method, right? Don't be afraid of your voice. And that's why my throat chakra burns, right? If it wasn't for this group, MML, and another one, I would not be able to end the cycles. I think as a programming and jump off the roller coaster. I love this. I love this. Together we reclaim our lives. Let's shine bright. I love y'all so very much. That's what I'm talking about, right? And every time that I get caught up in a stinking thinking, or I get caught up in an old pattern, right? Yes, Heather says, I will be there and big things are coming. I love the lives and Zooms and all, but I need to hug all of your necks. I agree with that. And that's what the in-person stuff is going to be about. And we are going to be in the Outer Banks the last week of October, and I'm going to get to hug your neck, and you're coming here, and we get to hug each other's necks and all the things. And Sheila gets to see you, and everybody. We're going to have some really amazing connections, and I am super excited for that. But if you are not practicing your clarity, if your message is still the mess, if your message right now is still just telling the story of your mess, right? Then I'm going to encourage you to get clear, to get grounded, to get recharged, to get your clear routine, to get movement in your life, to get meditation. These are the easy things. The reason we're starting with clarity is because we're getting clear with the things that you can control in your sphere of influence. The clarity thing is getting you to understand, right? I can control that today. I can control that because I was clear enough not to be calm, not to get triggered, right? Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think that you are clear enough to change the course of your day? Your answer should be yes, right? And if it's not, then just work on it. And we're all works in progress. And that's okay. We're a village. And if you're not there yet, it's okay. We're going to help you get there, right? We are going to help every single person find their exhale. And Carly talked about it best, about living between the breaths. And I'm super excited to meet with her today. I have we have a session here in a little bit, and my afternoon is pretty much booked up on meetings on Mondays. That's why I say I work on my business on Mondays, and I work in my business Tuesday through Friday. Yes, get clear so you can rebirth and rise like the phoenix. There's always a message in the mess, right? But you can control your the things you do for yourself, and that's when people start realizing that you're the only things you control. And the getting clear is to make you understand what you can and cannot control, what things you can control and what things you cannot. And when you get clear about those things, right? And we're going to talk about these messages, because this is a big message for me, and I know that it's important for us to go over it and kind of like solidify it. But when you get clear about the things that you can control, and when you realize that you can control your mind, your body, right? I struggle with control, right? And that's letting go of what you cannot control and appreciating the things that you can control. You can control your food, you can control your water, your sleep, the things you do. And I promise you, when you start controlling yourself, you get clear, and you put the things in that you can control that, right? Yes. Here's the thing. Someone else's clarity does not belong to you. It's you first. But here's the thing. Someone else's clarity whatever you all do to get clear does not belong to me. The things that you will see when you get clear and the messages that you will hear when you get clear, I have no tapping into, no rights to. But what I'm going to tell you is this, right? We all deserve clarity. We all deserve our clarity. We all do, right? And it's interesting because clarity, clear, and then your clairs, right? When you start getting clear, and if you are looking at maybe honing in on your intuition or maybe your clairvoyance or your clairaudience or your whatever all the different clairs are, right? Clair, cognizance, whatever they are, your clarity is going to help your clair, right? It's going to help you become connected because when you stop and you take care of yourself, right? We hand out the tools, you have to do the work. Here's the thing, you have all of the tools, we just make you recognize that you own them already, right? We don't even hand them out anymore, Heather, right? We're just making sure you know what tools you have. We're making sure that you activate your tools because that's a lot of this is, right? It's about you getting through all the stinking thinking, all the nonsense to be able to step into um, that which is divinely yours already, that which you divinely own already. We are all unique. We are all important, and we all have the gift of divinity within us. I say all the time, namaste. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. Okay, so that is what happened today. That is what's going on in my world today. Is the fact that I decided, right, that I was going to break the habit of a stinking day. I was going to break that cycle. I was going to take a deep breath. I was not going to let that day spiral down. I'm very proud of myself for stopping that in that moment and saying, okay, I mean, inhale the grateful, exhale the hateful, right? And that's what I did. I breathed through it, I screamed through it, and I moved that energy out of the way. I have got something that I am going to approach my woo-woo guru about today. And I'm a little nervous about it. I'm going to ask her a favor. And I know that when you manifest out loud and you put things into the universe, that they will more likely or not come to fruition when you hold space and you have people aligning with your intentionalities. And so I've been clear and I've been journaling. And one of the things that I'm going to ask for today, and I would like y'all to hold space, is that I am going to approach Carly and I am going to ask her to take me on as an alchemist apprentice. We are going to be partnering with the apothecary, with all of this smudge blends and all those things. If any of you have got things that you make or create and that are spiritual and that are Reiki infused and that are of the Grateful Thread, this is going to be a private membership, apothecary, and club. So if you have jewelry that you make, if you have art that you create, if you have anything that you feel would help someone on their journey that you would like to put into the store, either on a wholesale option or a commission, what's the word for? What's the word I'm looking for? Consignment. Please let me know because there's going to be a place for those things. I'm going to have an entire array of things you would need for simmer pots and protections and spell work if you do spell work. Any of those things, that we're going to have all the tools you'll need, incense and candles and dried herbs and fresh herbs and crystals for grids and all of those things. But I just didn't know if any of you had anything. So I have not approached Carly or even spoken to her about this apprenticeship yet. So if y'all can hold space that she will be receptive, or if she's not receptive, that, I understand the next step in my spiritual learning. I feel very, 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 very aligned with Carly's energy. I feel safe with Carly's energy. I know that she means to do well. She is not a charlatan at all. And if I'm going to be to learn, she is the person who I'm going to learn from. So I'm going to ask her. I'd rather just teach how to do raises using your intuition and flow experience of colors as you decide. And man, if we could do a whole workshop on that, on like, and like the team could like pay for Zoom to learn how to do like a craft night or something, and I'd love to do that. But if you do make anything you hand out for like spiritual practices, let me know. I would love to. You know what, Meredith? If you like, I'm also, because I do help women in with business, and one of the things I'm going to be stepping into is going back into something we call a CEO quorum, and we're Carly and I are actually working on that today, talking about like as female business owners, we are small business owners. It's nice to have a community to like get ideas from, to find a network of women to help you like grow your business. And so we would love if you have your own business, we would invite you to be a part of that. It might not be right now, but we are working on it. So that's another thing. But y'all, on that note, please hold that space for me as I talk to her today about how we're going to work that out. I also have found, and I've found it, and I'm going to be working on some I do a lot of research and I get ideas and things come in and the clarity. It's called Chezo Rojo. It's an African form of meditation that takes rhythm and breath, using music to find a rhythm, and then we use our breath as an instrument, and we each play different things, and it's amazing. And I loved watching this like meditation. This like Chezo Rojo meditation, and we're going to work on that a little bit too. Love it, love it, love it. See, we're never late. We're always right on time. So there's lots and lots of good things coming, but it's important today that you remember to take care of you and to get clear, right? To get clear, however that looks to you, like Heather says, we don't own anybody else's clarity. That is how it looks to you. I'm been trying to stay within an hour. I'm going to stay within 45 minutes today. We're going to get off of here. I've got a lot of stuff to do today. I've got a lot of things, a lot of meetings, a lot of like orders are coming in, all in divine time. As you know, I love each and every one of you to pieces. We are going to be back here live on Wednesday night for What's Up Wednesday. You might see me pop into TikTok for a little late night some nights this week. I will let you know if I am. I hope you will follow me over there. We're trying to get a building up. Last time we were live over there, we got two new followers. Time before that, 5 new followers. So we know it's the power of one every single time. Go out today. Remember, you cannot change the entire world. But every day you have the ability to go out and change the world for one person. Go out and be an epitome of the Grateful Fed power of one. As we always say when we're leaving these lives, peace, love, and feast. And don't forget, stay elevated. I love you, and I'll see you soon.